Hey, good morning, it's Woody, just here for a little chat. In case you don't know me, I'm a guy that's got prostate cancer, stage 4, diagnosed 3.5 years ago, and I've been running this video channel now for about 2 years. I think there's over 100 videos on here now, just really about mindset. The key thing I've noticed in this 3.5 years is the power of my my thinking and my mindset. So this is a kind of a video that I wanted to share a few metaphors and understandings that I've learned. I think cancer is a teacher, and there's no doubt I've learned a lot about it. I'm sitting in my garden at the moment. It's really cold, but it's nice. It feels like, you know, it makes me feel like I'm alive. And I've been for a walk today down by the river, and I did do a video down there. Unfortunately, I've played it back, and all you can hear is the sound of the motorway traffic in the distance. Seems to have really spoiled it, so I thought I'd do another one. Well, I don't usually plan these, but probably talk about the same stuff I was going to share anyway. Yeah, where to start? I think, in my experience, because once you've been dealing with this for a while, you get experience and you understand things that work and things that don't work. I've noticed that one of the things that helps my ability to cope, because I think there's something called, or I call it, cancer of the mind. You've got cancer of the body and you've got cancer of the mind, which is just as devastating at times. And cancer of the mind kind of creeps up on you, and if you don't know it's there, it's almost like constantly attacking you. And what goes on in your mind is your experience. And you know, if your experiences are bad, it could quite often be because of the way you are approaching things and processing stuff. And there is always a choice of change. You can change things you do, and I've learned that. So one of the things I've found with a little bit of experimentation is that you know, I start work I get up at 5 o'clock. My alarm goes off at 5. At times I just want to throw it against the wall and just curl up and go back to sleep. You know, because it's again, I'm not looking for sympathy, but having stage 4 cancer and doing a full-time job is a tough ask. And it's, from when I wake up to when I get home, is about 12 hours. It's a big old day. And I can tell you that some days I just don't want to go, but I've learnt to change one very, very simple thing, and that's by opening my eyes that first thing and just saying, "What, this is going to be a beautiful day." Just that sentence, "This is going to be a beautiful day." I might even repeat it several times, okay? And then what I find is I started noticing things around me that are more in tune with that. If I wake up and think to myself, "Oh God, not another day." I mean, as someone that's got stage 4 cancer, what you don't want to do is waste the days you've got by hating. You don't want to hate the day as much as possible. Sounds awful. The helicopter can never be in peace today, I don't think. It has worked. It does work. So I wake up, I tell myself it's going to be a beautiful day, maybe 3 times, and then I start attracting those things to me. I started noticing things, like I've said in the last video, that the birds are singing when I get out the door, I get the sunrise, and throughout the day. And I might even reinforce it. I might get to 10 o'clock and say it again, "This is going to be a beautiful day. This is a beautiful day." And I might say it in the afternoon. But I'm learning that this is a really powerful thing to do. Keep telling yourself. It's a bit like fake it till you make it. You might not feel that it's a beautiful day, but if you tell yourself, you do get a better experience. The alternative is to tell yourself it's going to be a rubbish day and you don't want to get out of bed and you hate the world, and you're going to suffer, because that's what you're going to get. You're going to get all the stuff that goes with that. Self-talk, powerful stuff. What you tell yourself is generally what you get. You know, the more things you can tell yourself in a positive way, the better your experience is going to be. I was walking down the river today, as I said, and I kind of thought about the river and watching it for a little while, and you can see how it changes in different places, where there's little pools and there's little eddies, and then there's a bit in the middle where it runs really quickly. And I thought it's a bit like a cancer journey, where there's a start and there's an end, and what matters is what happens in between. And the river is never completely still, it's always rushing along. A bit like the mind's never completely still, there's always something going on. Then you've got rapids, and then you've got calm periods, and then you've got more torrents and so on. You know, the roller coaster ride that is cancer. But it's what you do in between that start and that end, that process, to make that journey more smoother, more plain sailing, if you like. Sorry for all the water puns, they're just coming out now, aren't they? And the way you think about stuff, and the way what you tell yourself has a massive effect on that. Bit like the blue sky. I like the blue sky metaphor, where, you know, at the moment I can't see the blue sky, but I know it's there. It's always there, and you can go through some really stormy periods in your time, and calm periods. But once that storm's over, the blue sky generally comes back again, and it's just riding it out sometimes. And again, a lot of that can be on this focus of what you're telling yourself on a daily basis. Be very aware of what you say to yourself. And if you do recognise, that you're telling yourself a lot of negative stuff, try and change it, because it will work. It will help you. I suppose it's like, I have this lovely story about there's two people, and there's a mountain in front. One person looks at a mountain and thinks about all the obstacles they're going to have to get over in order to get to the top of that mountain, and the other person just thinks about what the view's going to be like at the top. You know, which one would you like to be? Which one would you rather be? I know which one I'd like to be. You can't always be that, but if you can try to be the person that wants to see the view, to wants to see the good stuff instead of the obstacles in the way of it, you will have a better experience. There's no doubt about that. Anyway, I've got some good news. I've come from the hospital, picking up my medication. I'm on this little tablet called Insultamide, which every time I take it, I look at it and with almost wonder that this tiny little brown tablet, 3 of them a day, keeps me alive. It's incredible. And I always say thank you. I always say thank you. I've always done it. When I take my medication, I always say thank you. And I know who I'm saying thank you to, but it just makes me feel better. And I'm very grateful that I've got medication that keeps me alive, controls my pain. Yeah, very, very grateful to that. And anyway, collected the medication, and then I got my my result back from my blood tests. Now, this is really good. My bloods are normal, and my PSA has gone down. Now, if you don't know what PSA, you may be new on the prostate cancer journey, or you just might have another form of cancer. In any form of cancer, there's always some point in that in your blood reports that is a marker. And for people with prostate cancer, the PSA is their marker. And when it's going down, the world's great. When it's stable, the world's great. When it's going up, the world's not so great. And this happened to me last year. After 3 years of being stable, it started to rise, and I ended up having to take some quite nasty radiotherapy last year. But the results are that things are more stable, but the PSA going down is probably the best news of all, so that's great. Another little thing I've got just to share with you is something that happened almost within a very short time. Was I got a phone call from a TV company over in the UK, ITV Region, which is a big TV company, and they wanted me to do an interview about prostate cancer, which was done 2 days later. I didn't prepare for it at all. Just sat there in my living room talking to a guy with a very large camera and a bright light in my eyes, and haven't seen it yet, but it'll be on TV. Not that I want to be a film star, I'm far from it. I would never have dreamed of doing stuff like this, but I just feel that you've got to make the best out of a bad thing, and in some way I feel doing these videos and sharing knowledge and understanding of the mind, and also telling people to get PSA tests, things like this that I do regularly, is a bit of a purpose, and it really does keep me going. And I often wonder why there are, I know someone that had exactly the same diagnosis of me, pretty much equal on everything, and yet that person died within a month. And I often wonder, why didn't that happen to me? And that's given me this kind of hope that we all should have. We should never stop hoping, believing. The mind is a very powerful thing, but it needs a combination of stuff: belief, the right medication, the right lifestyle. All of these things are key. And my last little message really is that many people get told by the oncologist just how much time they got. It's the first question we ask, isn't it? How much time you got left? I've exceeded mine. But then I thought to myself, hang on a minute, look, there's people that die after a month. There's people that die 10 years, 15 years. It just proves that whatever they say to you, you cannot take that as truth. It can't be, because you are an individual. Your cells are different than my cells. We're different. And if you've got 1,000 people with prostate cancer or any other kind of cancer, you can't treat them all just because the cancer statistics and then your stats that you've got are at a certain level, which means that you've only got this much time. You just keep believing, and you don't stop believing, and that's the way you get as far as you can down that journey, as far as you go. And there's people out there that constantly inspire me with what they do. There's people that run marathons, that climb mountains, they've got stage 4 cancer, things that normal people without cancer would not be able to do. People do things that's almost impossible, and yet somehow they make it possible. Anyway, guys, look, I'm going to go, because I have got a very cold bottom sitting on this stone floor. My fingers are freezing cold, and I'll be back for another video in the next couple of weeks, hopefully with more good news, and hopefully maybe a few more ways of dealing with this stuff. Just got to keep strong, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.